How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the OluKai Anywhere Aloha Fridays IGTV series. My name is Shawn Pila. This is my fiance, Kelly Green, and we're the hosts of the new YouTube series, The Farmstead, Hawaii. On today's episode, we're gonna be teaching you folks how to build a farm from the ground up. Now, there's a ton of different ways you can go about doing this, but we're gonna show you the steps that we took to turn this overgrown lot into home sweet homestead. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And a lot of hard work.
So what do you say? Strap on some boots and let's check it out. All right, so step one, find a piece of land to build your farm. Now, you don't have to go and purchase a huge piece of property. We know people that lease farmland for about $500 to $1,000 per acre per year. But to be honest, I would start small. Clear out a piece of your mom's backyard, clear out a section at your home for your backyard garden. So step one, find a piece of land to build your farm. All right, so step two for us was to take down the grass. The entire 8.5 acre lot was covered in 10-foot guinea grass, and we really wanted to see the lay of the land and what we were working with. We didn't have enough money to buy a tractor. There's no companies on the island that rented large farming equipment, so we decided to hire a pro to do the job. It costed anywhere from $75 to $100 an hour. It took us about 2 days to clear the entire property, and we were really glad we went that route because there's a lot of obstacles, and these guys knew exactly what to do. So step two, take down the grass. All right, so step three for us was the fence. I've got a 350-pound pet pig named Humphrey that needed a forever home ASAP, so it was priority for us to put up a fence. It costed anywhere from $1,500 to about $3,500 per acre for materials alone. So, you know, best to do some price matching, shop around, try to use reuse materials as much as you can to save some money. But yeah, so step three for us was the fence. All right, so after we dropped off Humphrey and Isla, we decided to shift gears and do a little bit of pest control and weed management. You know, it's always best to handle this stuff in the early stages, keep the fence lines clear, treat for fire ants, semi-slug, and you know, there's healthier options, healthier remedies. We explain all this stuff on our show, so if you want more details, feel free to check that out. And also predators, you know, we've got mongoose, pigs, wild dogs, and even people. People can be considered pests as well, you know, and they can pose a huge threat to your livestock and your crops. So step four for us was the pests. All right, so step five, the livestock. Along with the pigs, we decided to get some sheep to help manage the grass. But if you're just starting out, you know, some of the easier animals to raise would be something like chickens. Pigs, I would say, are more on the medium scale. You know, they require a lot of food, a lot of attention, strong fencing. And if you're like an advanced farmer, horses, sheep, those are more on the higher scale of management. And these guys are knuckleheads, let me tell you that. Anyway, step five, the livestock. All right, so step six, the green waste. With a property this big, there's a lot of green waste. You know, we've got rubbish trees that we're taking down, we've got guinea grass that we're cutting, and we're trying to use all of those resources, turning it into wood chips, turning it into mulch, adding that into our compost. You know, we're building soil fertility, pasture health, and trying to use as much as we can here on the property and putting it back into the land. So step six, the green waste. All right, so step seven, the garden beds. Now, this entire field was cleared with the tractor. It's kind of a bigger scale operation, but basically they came in, they took down the grass, they'll come back later, they'll plow the entire field, and you wanna let it sit, let the grass cook, let the roots kind of cook up, come back again later, they'll plow the entire field again just to churn it all up, and then they'll till it, flatten it out, and then when they're ready, they'll create some nice big garden beds. And you know, if you're doing just like a simple DIY backyard project, clear out a little section. You know, you got your hand tools, use a pickaxe, a hoe, make the top of it nice and flat. You want to include the compost and the mulch and everything we were cooking previously into your garden beds. You know, and since we're in Hawaii, the volcanic soil. You need to check your pH levels and get all that stuff right. So nice, big, fat, healthy garden beds. Step 7, the garden beds. So step 8, the crops. Just like the livestock, I would suggest starting small. You know, plant some flowers, plant a little herb garden that's close to the house, something that's easy to water, easy to maintain. Feel the earth and see if you even like getting your hands dirty. For us, the first thing we planted was ki, or the Hawaiian tea leaf. And the tea leaf was a very important plant to the Hawaiian people, used in traditional lei making, cooking Hawaiian meals. They would literally plant tea leaf around the entire property to help fend off bad spirits and just keep the good vibes going. For us, we want to grow mostly native Hawaiian plants. Ulu, or breadfruit, mai'a, or banana, kalo, taro, niu, or coconut, and uala, sweet potato. So step 8, the crops. All right, so step 9, the water source. So plants, they need a few things: sun, nutrients, hydrogen, nitrogen, that's all like in the soil and stuff. And water, you know, they need water. Animals need water, and water is life. So for us, until we actually get like a catchment tank or maybe county water, we've got these jugs or these tubs, and they're, you know, the water's dripping onto the roof, dripping into here. I've got clean water here that I use for like watering the plants or washing stuff, washing my hands. I've got a tub here. I've got a few actually around the property for the animals. This is where Humphrey bathes. Pigs don't have sweat glands, so they get really hot. And he bathes here. It's actually pretty funny. He kind of just like sits there. And yeah, this is an old water jug transportation thing. I'm gonna cut the top off, put a gutter, and this will be like my main catchment tank until we're actually able to afford, you know, proper water. And yeah, so, and it's also good to see like where the water's coming from on a rainy day. There might be, you know, some floods or some rivers might kind of pop up, and it's always good to know where the water's coming from, how to store it, what to do when there's no rain. And yeah, step 9, the water source. All right, hang in there, folks. We are almost there. Step 10, the infrastructure. Now I'm talking greenhouse, stable for the animals and their feed, storage shed, you know, tools, boots, rain jackets, chicken coop. You know, this thing is actually made with recycled roofing and old pallets. It's actually a prototype for a backyard DIY project that we're doing. We're actually going to be showing this as well on one of our mini episodes. And you know, sheep shed and Humphrey's Palace. All of these are key components to building a farm. Now, we can't afford a greenhouse just yet, and we actually don't even know where it's going. So for now, we've got this 20 by 20 tarp tent. You know, 175, 200 bucks, including the legs. This is all we need right now. We've got our tools, gardening supplies, you know, the animal food, medications, and it's protection from the sun, protection from the water, you know, dry workspace. And this is like the perfect option for us in the beginning phases. So step 10, the infrastructure. All right, so step 11, the upkeep. Now, building a farm is no joke. There's gonna be a lot of work and a lot of upkeep. Making sure the animals are fed, making sure the animals have water, making sure your plants have water, you know, trim off all the dead leaves, add that stuff to your compost, mix up the compost, keep the fence lines clear, pest management. You know, there's gonna be a lot of work, but we're gonna have tons of fun and learn as much as we can along the way. So step 11, the upkeep. All right, folks, so the final few steps for us, this is kind of our year 1 goal. So step 11 is the foundation. We're actually gonna move a bunch of dirt up to this center area where we're gonna build our house. We're gonna try to bring up the elevation as much as we can, bring in some rocks, make sure it's nice and solid. And we want, you know, a solid foundation, deepen our roots. And then the final step for us is a cabin. So we're actually gonna build a little 16 by 16 cabin. It was donated by our friend Mahalo. Me and my buddy Brian and David went and we took the whole thing down in 3 days. We transported it piece by piece back to Hilo. It's sitting in a storage shed, and yeah, we're gonna put the cabin on Sunshine Hill, and You know, we really just cannot wait. That's like the hugest part, is being up here, being, you know, immersed in the land, in the Aina, just feeling the vibes, seeing what happens when the rain changes, what happens when the wind changes, and just really getting a feel for the place. So step 13, final step for us, year 1 goal, the cabin. We want to thank all of you guys for hanging in there. Thanks for joining us. You know, thank you OluKai, Mahalo, OluKai, for having us, letting us share our process, our journey, the things that we've learned along the way. And yeah, we're stoked that you guys can all join us. You know, feel free to check us out on YouTube at the Farmstead Hawaii, Instagram at Shawn Pila. We've got, you know, some info online. We've got the animals, and we're really trying to, you know, spread the aloha spirit and spread the message of sustainability, food security here on the island. And thank you all. Thank my family, friends, the community. Like, without all of you guys, none of this stuff would be able to happen. So mahalo everyone, mahalo kia kua. And yeah, till we meet again, ahui ho.